Hi, I'm Shauna J. Cerniak, founder of Every Woman Empowered, and alongside are my co-hosts,
Johnny Galardo, international artist, and Every Woman Empowered's resident artist.
And Neela Janu, certified laughter yoga instructor, founder of Let's Laugh Yig, and happiness ambassador for Every Woman Empowered.
Welcome to
Chit Chit Chat!
We are so excited to have back on Chit Chit Chat Walt Disney, legendary Imagineer, and Jim Henson, puppeteer, Terri Harden. Welcome back, Terri.
Everybody. What's up? What's up?
So good to have you back on the show. It's been
What a pleasure
way
to
too
be
long.
here.
Oh, it's
So
been way too
excited.
long. Well, you know, I hear that you got a new book out that you did some illustrations for. You want to tell us about it?
I'm very happy to show it to you, actually. This is it right here. And it's called Giggling Pumpkins. And I did do the illustrations. The thing I love about it the most is that the author colored the illustrations and she made them all different colors. So that's what I like about it, is that all the characters are all colors. So it kind of speaks to you and says, hey, let's stop looking at color. We're human beings and we're all special. So that's one thing I love about the fairies of the book and stuff. It's hardbound. It's a children's book, stitched and made in the USA. So it's going to last and it's really good quality.
That is so awesome. Now, we're in the month of October. Where can someone find these fabulous books?
The easiest way to do it is to go to my website, which is terriharden.com, and click on new book. It's going to take you right to the store where you can purchase it, and they're $23.99. So they're just beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, if you decide you have lots of kids or you're a charity event or something like that, and you want to buy in bulk, then email me. You can do that on the website, and we have a bulk price too. So we cut you some breaks if you get your family together and you want to save a couple of bucks. We do that for you too. So
perfect.
We'll work that out for you. But it's a great little book. It's a fun little book. It's about the challenges of growing pumpkins and how fairies kind of mess with you and stuff. So yeah, it's cute.
That's perfect for the season. That is awesome. Can't wait to check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited. And you heard it here first, you guys. Get that book.
Yeah. And if you do it, I know this is very close to the end date, but if you go on and order it before the 6th of October, I can guarantee both signatures. After that, it'll be one or the other, but at least you can have both if you do it before October 6th.
Oh, that's a great offer. Thank you so much, Terri, for doing that for our viewers. Truly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome, Terri. So, as a legendary Imagineer with Disney, I know you've been asked to do all kinds of very, very interesting things. What pulled you towards carving pumpkins of all things and teaching classes?
Well, I'm an obsessive creative, so I see something I want to do and I just got to jump and do it, right? So I always wondered why thick walls and pumpkins were being wasted on triangles and, a knife sort of bit. I saw an ad in the paper where the guy was peeling the skin off, that hard skin, and sculpting the flesh. And I tried it. I didn't like how he was doing it, so I figured out a way to do it myself and started carving and putting these in my yard every year. Well, I have a lot of followers. Most of them are Disney fans. And they started to say, well, can you teach us how to do this? And I was like, you guys really want to learn? Yeah. So a class was born. What I learned from my students was that this was the bridge I was looking for to help people realize they do have artistic talent. You just got to have someone who's going to help you feel comfortable enough to explore that area. And a pumpkin is it. A pumpkin is your childhood. You don't fear. You don't sit there forever afraid to sculpt it. And if you are, I walk up and say it's going to rot. So sculpt it before it rots.
Yeah. I also understand that you've been a judge on outrageous pumpkins too.
Well, this was really funny because they looked around, they saw my website that talked about pumpkins. They looked at my art and they said, you want to be a contestant and win $25,000? I said, no, that usually shakes people up. I said, I'd rather be a judge. I'm worthy of being a judge. I've done this for years. I'm a Disney Imagineer. I think that's a draw. They agreed, and I became a judge in 2005, and I've judged shows ever since. And I'm a good one. I'm a tough judge. So that's the cool thing, is that, you know, you're not going to get by if you don't follow the rules. I'm the one that says, look, that may be a great pumpkin, but they didn't follow the rules.
Rule stickler there. Oh.
Yeah. And they look at it and they go, wow, she just won't, you know, wait a minute, you know, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And viewers on Terri's YouTube, she does do a video about what she looks for in her judging. So you can check that out. But Terri, yeah, well, so what are some of the biggest obstacles people have with pumpkin sculpting, and how do your classes help them overcome those obstacles?
Well, I'm sure as a young person, and maybe you haven't heard it, and if you have, you're lucky, but you may have tried art when you were younger. You may have tried art at some point, and someone looked over and said, what's that supposed to be? Ha, ha, ha. Oh, you're drawing, or you're painting, or you're sculpting. Don't quit your day job, wink, wink. And that really starts to eat away at your self-esteem. And so a pumpkin has a leg in your childhood. So what I found is that people aren't fearful of sculpting them. And then they are a natural organic material. So they do change. You put it in your yard and it starts to erode and get all creepy and ghoulish. And what happens is that you suddenly realize that you're not overthinking it. You just play with it, and it's a lot of fun. Plus, I think pumpkins are great because you are making creepy things anyway. So you don't pressure yourself too much, if that makes sense, to do some magnificent, amazing likeness of an actor or something. Some people will, but most people don't.
Well, and it's so nice to hear, you know, that analogy about being in our youth and just sticking to the positive. Because here at Chit Chit Chat and Every Woman Apart, that's what we're about, is keeping it positive. And I love that you also instill that in your classes. That is so important.
Yeah, as a teacher, you've got to have people's backs. You got to make sure that that person has a safe environment in which to experiment and explore. And so that's the main thing. And a pumpkin just automatically brings that type of person. I mean, they want to play in the pumpkin guts and they want to carve, you know, weird creatures. And if one eye is lower than the other, it's okay, because it's an ugly. You know, the other thing about pumpkins is that if you start to be a sculptor of one, you start to look for pumpkins that aren't round and perfect. You start to look with them that they're oblong or they have a dent in the side, because you start to see an ugly face or a creature or something inside. And that helps you to say to yourself, well, goodness gracious, that really looks cool. So if we take this lady that I did, here's a lady pumpkin that I did. Here she is lit. Ooh. So, you know, here, and you can do stuff like that. It's just, you know, and when it rots, and you go, okay, next year, you know.
We'll do something interesting then, right?
Yeah. You know, yeah, absolutely. They are so much fun. And it really instills in people, once they see it lit, they may think it's awful in the beginning. Then they put a light inside and they go, oh my God, I really did that. And you say, you really did that, you know, and it's great.
Absolutely.
Great to see that reaction, you know.
It's a very good feeling. I can say that because I've actually taken Terri's class, and I had never done pumpkins like that, and it was just amazing. I really enjoyed it a lot. And you're right, it brought me right back to my childhood, so it was pretty special. So I know you've carved pumpkins for all kinds of people. Who are some of the famous people you've done pumpkins for?
Well, I've been able to do, and it's funny because you go, where did they ever find out about me? You know, but the Ellen show reached out to me and said, can you do a pumpkin for Ellen? And I did her portrait and her name. They wanted her logo in it. And I wish I had a picture of it. I don't, but I had her face and her logo in it, and she put it on her show. I was going to be on her show, and I was trying to get them to let me teach her how to carve, but she decided not to. And then I did one for Desperate Housewife, the classic apple. And finally, I did one for True Blood, which was a vampire biting the neck of a very happy female. You could tell the woman really wanted to have her neck bit, because that's what True Blood was all about. But yeah, I think the cool thing is when people come up and they start to ask you how much it costs for you to do a pumpkin. It's about $750 for me to sculpt a pumpkin. And people go, oh my God, that's ridiculous. It rots. Or some go, like TV shows, okay. But then you say, well, what about my students? They're all here. Why don't you walk around and see what you like? They're $250, $250. And the person says, oh, great. And one of my kids was 14. He's now in his 20s. And he sold $800 worth of pumpkins because he did tikis. So, if you do it in the reverse, my students do it for $250. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is the student to look good, not necessarily the teacher to look good. Teacher looks good if the student does, right?
Yeah. That's just a testament to how great a teacher you are, that you're passing that on.
Exactly.
And you were talking, you were saying earlier that, pumpkins, it's an organic material. So, I was thinking about the environmental impact of pumpkins, and it's got to be, a greener option than buying all this plastic jack-o'-lantern and, everyone's so crazed and consuming and buying decorations for every single season. This way, at least, like you said, it decomposes, it returns to the earth. And I know you love the artistic element of sculpting, but have you given much thought to all of that? Do you do anything with the flesh and the seeds?
Yeah, well, the fun thing about sculpting food is it's food, for example. I mean, I remember someone was sculpting cheese and she said, the best thing is eating the shavings. And you'd say, yeah, that is kind of fun, and it's the same with pumpkins. Certain pumpkins have a very sweet flavor and I'll catch my students eating them. Or if it's a big, big, big pumpkin, there's only a few seeds in the super giant ones. So people will hoard those and try and grow them in their house. Pumpkins take a lot of water though, so that can be challenging, but that's something they do. But a lot of things that people like to do is to take pumpkins, for example, and combine them with other foods that are orange. So this guy has got butternut squash for his little hand, and he fits the criteria: eyes, mouth. This is what I want you to start out with. And you add a hand and he looks really scared. You put him later in some ivy and he starts to just shrink into himself, and they get this decay that's black on them. None of this is going to happen if you carve into something plastic. Yeah, you can store the plastic, but these people just love the idea that these are actually real food that you're carving. And there's a multitude of ways to make them.
I love, Terri, how you say you put it by your ivy. Because like here in Canada, we, in October, November, we have ivy just hanging around in our yards. You put it by your spruce tree.
Yeah, you put it by your spruce tree, and you could sculpt the hands that do this to the spruce tree. And then all of a sudden he's like.
Yeah, exactly. Terri, do you have a favorite pumpkin or Halloween memory as a kid you want to share?
Oh my goodness. As a kid, I think my scariest pumpkin moment was a girl from high school. I must have been about 8. She just loved me. And she said, why don't you come to a party? And my dad took me over to the party. And there were just too many people. And there was this witch outside that said, pick a box, pick wrong. You'll be in trouble. And I don't like cat in the trash can scares of any kind. So I said, no, the candy ain't worth it. I would watch people. I would say, no, that's not worth it. I want something to jump out at me. And my father would say, all right, that's cool. But you and your friends might put a coffin out front, and the coffin, you're reenacting the Haunted Mansion or something like that. Yeah. But now it's just really fun to see other people discover that they are artists through a pumpkin, and they go on to do other things, write books, make jewelry, paint, draw, because they have been shown they've got it. They can do it. And no one's ever failed. No one.
Can't fail if you don't try, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So you can even help an old Joe like me, and I can you'll help me create a Keanu Reeves pumpkin, correct?
Yeah, or you start with your first pumpkin, and then we show you what method you could do with the Keanu Reeves pumpkin.
So by the time I get ready for the Keanu Reeves pumpkin, you'll
and then you
up
film
with
it.
Contacts.
And then you film it and you go, see, I can do it.
Yeah. I was just hoping to have him as a model, right in my living room right here with me.
Well, see, you write to him and you say, hey, you want to come and model for my pumpkin sculpting? I think that's something that would make him go, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
You'd at least get an answer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Terri, it's always a joy to have you on the show. Now, if someone wants to take one of your pumpkin carving courses, how would they find you?
You can Google me. That's the easiest way to do it. I'm not about / HTTP stuff. But then you go to my website, terriharden.com, and you can look at that bar at the top. It says event schedule. I have a virtual class. I have a live class. I have one live class that still has room in it. So you can go and do that. And then finally, you can find out everything that you need to know there, or you can email me and ask me questions about it. So awesome. The website goes to all points. You can find out where I'm speaking, my broadcasts, all that stuff, all comes from there.
Perfect. So if someone is in the Anaheim area, they can go to the live class. And for us that are outside the area, we can just go ahead and check your online classes that you have and do the carving right there, which is so great. I'm actually looking forward to it. I want to take the class and I want to.
Well, I hope you will. I hope you will. And I hope after the pandemic's over, we can get together and actually do a live one, because as Jenny says, it really is fun.
Yes.
It is fun.
Well, as always, thank you, Terri, for being on the show. You are a joy. Wishing you the best with your book success. And we'll be seeing you at that pumpkin class.
We'll
Take care. Happy Halloween.
Bye now. Happy Halloween.
Thanks,
Happy Halloween.